What sold day 127? The first sale of the day is this Peter Millar Summer Comfort Polo shirt in a men's 2XL. It was embroidered on the front with a golf course called the Clint. I think this is a pretty sought after golf course, so it did actually probably add some value and help it sell a little bit quicker. It sold in about 2 months for a best offer of $20 plus shipping. This is usually about what these sell for in the spring or summer, but in the winter they don't sell quite as good, so I'm really happy with this sale. So number 2 is this LaCoste shirt in a men's 2XL. This one sold in 22 days for a best offer of $14 plus shipping. I think this would have sold closer to the $20 mark, but it did have a mark on the left shoulder of it, a black mark. So it did take away a few dollars of value, but I will usually pick up LaCoste items as long as they're not the basic polos and as long as they're a low enough price. That way I can let them go for relatively cheap. That way I'm not sitting on them for months and months. So number 3 is this pair of Levi's 517 jeans. These were the orange tab in the back. They were from the 90s, and they were a pretty decent size for older Levi's, 28 by 30, so a little bit short on the inseam, but usually those smaller waists sell a little bit better. This one sold in 1 day for a best offer of $45 plus shipping. I'm definitely not an expert, especially when it comes to vintage Levi's, but I think it is something that I should focus a little bit more time on, especially with the flea markets that I go to. There are quite a bit of vintage denim, and if I could learn a little bit more, I could probably make a few bucks from them. So number 4 is this Patagonia Halfzip in a men's large. This is one of the Capilene base layers, and this one sold in 18 days for a best offer of $21 plus shipping. These are usually pretty good quick sellers, but they're not going to sell for a ton of money. Most of the base layer Patagonias are going to sell around the $20 to $25. So number 5 is this Lucky Brand flight jacket in a men's XL. This took about 4 months to sell, and it sold for the full sale price of $37.46. Originally had this priced up to $50. I think anything from 3 months to 6 months for me is a 25% off sale. So this hit the 25% off sale and sold, and I'm still really happy with that sale. So number 6, this is a Malbon golf polo shirt. It is a long sleeve one in a men's large. There was an issue with the top buttonhole where it was kind of loose, so the button didn't stay in there very well, and this shirt was pretty faded. But I've been following this golf brand on Instagram for a while, and I've never found any of their items, so I was really just excited to find this. I think I paid about the same price I sold it for, so I'm not making any money, but I just wanted to get it, see how it sold. And yeah, it sold in 3 days for a best offer of $25 plus shipping. So I might have been able to hold out for another $5 or so. But with it being a more niche brand and not being in the best condition, I was happy just to let it go and move on and know that I can usually get about 25 to 30 bucks for these going forward, maybe even a little bit more. So number 7 is this JCrew seersucker shirt in a men's large. This one took 2.5 months to sell, and it sold for a best offer of $15 plus shipping. Usually most brands or most shirts are going to sell a little bit better if they are seersucker. So if they have that texture to them where they're kind of like a wavy, thicker texture. If you know seersucker, then you know what it feels like. But usually that is going to add at least a few dollars of value to most shirts. Sale number 8 and the worst sale of the day is this Adidas original shirt in a men's small. It did have a big graphic on the front of it, but it took over 1.5 years to sell, and it sold for a best offer of $3 plus shipping. But I'm honestly just happy with these sales. When they've been sitting in my store for a long time, I don't mind that they sold for a few bucks. I'm happy to just get this old, stale inventory that isn't going to sell for a lot out of my store and just keep building my store with more and more better items. Sale number 9 is this LL Bean shirt in a men's 2XL. This is a Henley shirt, and it is a wool blend. And this one sold in 22 days for a best offer of $25 plus shipping. I think I picked 3 of these up at the same time, and they all sold really well, much better than I would have expected. I actually passed on these at the thrift store a few times before I looked a little bit closer and realized that they were a wool blend, and then I picked them up, and they all sold really well. So number 10 is a pair of Lululemon athletic shorts in a men's large. These ones sold in 1 month for full price $27 plus shipping. This must have been just over a little over a month old, because at 31 days, my items do go to 10% off, and everything from 1 month to 2 months old is 10% off. So this did hit that sale and sold pretty quickly. Sale number 11 is this Game Guard camo shirt in a men's large. And I think I learned from Big Yumbo that this is called the Desert Camo. And knowing the type of camo is going to add value and help your item sell a lot better. So if you can learn the different types of camo and include those in your title, those are definitely going to help your item sell. This one sold in 18 days for full price, $30 plus shipping. And I'm not even sure if Game Guard is that great of a brand, but definitely just this shirt being in good condition and with this camo print and including this camo print in the title is key, because people are going to be looking for certain types of camo for certain types of hunting, and if they don't have it in the title, then they're not going to be able to easily find it. So number 12 is this vintage body glove t-shirt in a adult medium. This is from the 90s. I think it actually was dated 1990 on it, and it took 1.5 months to sell, and it sold for a best offer of $15 plus shipping. Vintage t-shirts like this that have good prints, this obviously also had a brand associated with it, Body Glove, which isn't a super sought after brand, especially for vintage t-shirts, but it had the right colors going for it, just kind of loud and a lot going on. And as long as you can pick up shirts like this for just a few bucks, you can usually sell them in the $10 to $15 range. So number 13 is a vintage 80s rain spooner Hawaiian shirt in a men's 2XL. This one didn't have the best print on it. This postcard print usually doesn't sell that well, but being that it's from the 80s, it still definitely has some value. It took about 1.5 months to sell, and it sold for a best offer of $27 plus shipping. I'm actually going to show you guys this rain spooner tag. This yellow rain spooner tag is the tag from the 80s, and this is going to add value to almost any rain spooner shirt and help it sell much quicker. So number 14, this is an interesting one. This is a Levi's denim jacket in a men's medium. It is the type 1 style, I'm pretty sure. Like I said before, I'm not a super big expert in Levi's, especially not the vintage ones. This one isn't vintage, but this is a more vintage style, the type 1. And I actually couldn't find too many of these on eBay, I don't think, that weren't actually vintage or that people were calling vintage. But this is definitely a newer one. But it sold in 8 days for a best offer of $70 plus shipping. And like I said, this is a new age Levi's jacket. So if you find any ones like this, even if they're newer ones, they still sell really well. So number 15 and the final sale of the day was this vintage Patagonia jacket in a men's small. This sold same day for $30 full price. So $30 plus shipping. And it did have a few flaws on it, and there wasn't a logo on the front of it, so I was really surprised by this sale. I actually picked this up with the North Face lot, where I paid like $7 or $8 per jacket for like 42 jackets. And I buy a lot of stuff from this vendor, and I didn't even include this in my original buy because I didn't think that it was going to sell that well, being that it was a bit worn and didn't have any Patagonia logos on the front of it. But I definitely passed on a good item here, and I'm just really glad that I came back and picked it up in the bulk buy with all the North Face jackets, because like I said, this sold same day for $30. This is a great sale. That's it for the sales. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow for day 128 of the What Sold series. Peace.